What's the difference between a ghost and a spirit? Let's find out how I see it right now on What the Fetch. Hey Weirdos, I'm Grant. I get this question a lot, and fair enough, there's a lot of confusion about it. What should be simple really isn't. Almost every investigator has a different thought on this, and I can only give you my views on it. When it's all said and done, though, the answer is subjective and open to interpretation. So what do you say? Let's roll up our sleeves and take a look into how I see it. Okay, so what we're trying to determine here is what to call a potential paranormal human entity. Well, the label we use all depends on what type of entity it is. In order to make this easier to explain, I'll have to introduce a couple more terms that I usually use when talking about something like this. I mainly use haunting, entity, and ghost and spirit. Now, while these terms are pretty much used interchangeably in the field, they are technically all different, each one being a subset of the previous one. So, for me, all spirits are ghosts, all ghosts are entities, and all entities are hauntings. But not all hauntings are entities, and not all entities are ghosts, and not all ghosts are spirits. Got it? No? Alright, let's look closer at how I define these terms and see if that helps. First, a haunting. This is basically any reported activity that could be paranormal, but hasn't been classified yet. While this does include entities, it can also include strange lights, chills, weird vibes, etc. Next, an entity. This is any haunting that shows some semblance of a living being, be it in shape, sound, or other interaction. While this does include ghosts, it also includes some types of psychic activity, angels, elementals, demons. Then there is a ghost. This is an entity that resembles a human. And just because it resembles a human doesn't mean it has a spirit. While this does include intelligent human spirits, it also includes residuals, some poltergeists, doppelgangers, etc. And finally, a spirit. This is the ghost of a once living person that contains the non-physical seat of emotion and character, the soul. This is an interactive, intelligent human haunting. Is it becoming clearer? Let's try this. If I felt a presence in my house, I might think it was haunted. If I were able to disprove it as a lack of sleep per se, then it's no longer a haunting, it's just a mundane problem. Cross it off the list, case closed. But if instead I hear a disembodied voice or footsteps, then I could better classify that haunting as an entity. Because due to the voice or the footsteps, it has some semblance of a living being. Now, if I then saw a disembodied person walking through my home, it can now be better classified as a ghost because it looks like a person. Now, if by investigating I learned that it was residual, then I couldn't call it a spirit because there's no intelligence there. It remains a ghost and an entity and a haunting. Now, if instead that ghost was able to interact with me intelligently, then it could be even better classified as a spirit, because there is intelligent human interaction, emotion, and character. Got it? Each one is a subset of the last. Now, many people take it a step further. They are of the mindset that a ghost is a dead human, and it doesn't become a spirit until it's moved on. Now, I don't think that way because I don't think that we're devoid of having a spirit or a soul until we transcend. After all, the spirit, by definition, is the non-physical part of the person that is the seat of emotion and character. The soul. I mean, I feel I have a soul now. I feel that soul is me, my personality. Why would I temporarily lose it until I move on? I wouldn't be me anymore. Would I? Okay, now back to the original question. What is the difference between a ghost and a spirit? Now, when people experience a supposed haunting, it's a mystery to be solved. And until they solve it, they have to have a label to use in order to proceed. Once they hone in on what the entity actually is, then they can change the label to intelligent human haunting, residual, poltergeist, bad plumbing, drugs, insanity, you name it. But until they've applied the proper label, they have to call it something, and the term most people use for that something is ghost. Their use of the word ghost here is synonymous to my word haunting. Now, the term ghost and spirit are etymologically the same word. Ghost comes from the Old English word gast, which meant breath or spirit. Spirit comes from the Latin word spirare, which also means breath or spirit. The similarity is preserved in the biblical use of ghost via the term Holy Ghost. As the years rolled on, spirare became spirit, yet still maintained a pure sense of that non-physical part of a person that is the seat of emotion and character, the soul. But gast had a darker childhood as a word. You see, it probably came from the root word geis, which was used in forming words that involved the notions of excitement, amazement, or fear. This caused it to not just mean breath or spirit, but also good or bad spirit, angels, demons, person, man, and human being, all at once. This caused gas to have a slightly different tone than spirare, resulting in the word ghost, meaning less spirit and, well, more ghost. So spirit or ghost. I hope you have a better understanding of how I see it, but don't stress too much about it. The whole paranormal field is pretty nebulous anyway. Besides, we're all pretty smart here. No matter which term you use, we'll be able to understand what you mean. Sort of like reading through a friend's typo in a text message. But what about you? How do you use the terms? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with all your friendly ghosts, or spirits, or ghosts, or spirits. And don't forget to click that notification bell so you know when I post a new video. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Stay weird.